K. Welcome back to the Learning Curve podcast. This week we're going to be talking about equity and access, starring Corinne,
Mariah,
Penny,
and Sarah.
Alright guys.
Okay. I guess we could start with inequality.
Yeah,
Um,
it's awful.
yeah.
I don't really know what else to
Yeah,
say.
like people don't get equal things. Like,
Breaking out. I have a story about that. I grew up in Amesbury, and they only taught our multiplications to 10. We didn't learn 11 and 12. Yeah.
No way.
Like, in terms of the tables, like, obviously we did by 12, but it was just kind of like, they didn't teach us how to do it. And then in 5th grade, I moved to Boxford, and all of the kids knew to 12, other than me. And I was kind of like, I don't really know, like, what I'm doing. And I would tell the teachers that, and they wouldn't really do anything to, like, fix it. So to this day, I don't know my 11s and 12s, like, by heart. I can, like, presume, but I can't, like, name it off
Because if you
super
don't
quick.
learn it at a young age, it's hard to learn it now. And
Yeah.
like, you don't
Yeah.
really need it now anyways.
I know, you have a
oh,
calculator.
It's fine.
But I feel like it really threw me off for when we were learning really anything else, because I was like a step behind everyone else. And I know some of my there was another family that we were kind of friendly with who had also moved from Amesbury to Boxford like the year before, and one of the kids had to be held back because the gap was so big. Yeah. So I feel like when I think of inequality for math or like for school, I think especially between districts or between places that like have different standards or have different funding. And I feel like I've heard a lot of kids. There was a kid who moved from Texas to my middle school, and she was actually ahead. So she got to go to like the high school for math.
Yeah, because
Oh, wow.
every standards are different
Yeah.
between like states.
wow, that's crazy. Yeah, so like your first school was given like less resources and opportunities to do that than your
Amesbury is less wealthy, I would say, so that's probably where I came from, and there were a lot more students. Like, we had 2 different elementary schools, whereas Boxford, they have 2 elementary schools, but they split it up by year, so it's like there are like 300 kids in the school altogether.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, to like add on, I have like a story too. When I was like in 6th grade, I used to live in Boston. I lived like near like the wealthy area, right? But when I went to the school there, they had like tutorings and everything for kids that needed extra help. And since English wasn't my first language, I needed the extra help. But then I couldn't really access that because of like my parents working, and there was like no bus available, right? But then when I moved here, there was like after school programs with like buses and everything. I think that like makes a big difference, especially in a class too, like especially with kids that don't get those like accessibilities and that extra support and help. It shows like in a classroom setting when like they're learning, and you can like definitely tell like they need that extra help. But then it's hard because it's just like, you know.
Okay. Equality. Everyone gets the same thing, no matter like where you start off. Like,
I feel like going with my story, the way once I moved to Boxford, they were kind of teaching us equally, but they were teaching us like equally, but I did kind of feel like they were brushing past the point of like I wasn't getting what I needed because everybody else had a base that I didn't have.
And then you're only like one student, so they're like, we don't care about you.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I kind of had to catch up on my own.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really difficult.
So like, it would be like bringing it back to equality. Like, you're in a classroom, you don't know as much as them, but you all get the same worksheet and you all get the same amount of time to complete it, but you might need more time.
Right.
But then if you can't complete it all in that certain amount of time, it might look like
Like,
one-
like less of a, I guess, it doesn't really reflect my base learning as it should have, because if I was given the same resources before, then maybe I would have, but because I wasn't giving me the same resources as them now, is like,
Yeah.
well, that's not fair
Yeah.
because I'm not able to, like, I don't have the extra
Yeah.
blocks to build up.
Yeah.
And then I feel like justice, like everybody gets equal access, like that's like talking about one school system. Or even like in my placement, I'm at South Row, and like at Harrington, which is another elementary school in Chelmsford, they like the teachers are different there, so they learn like they all learn the same thing but in a different way depending on who they have, or even like from, I don't know, like if they're in the same class or if they're in the same school but with a different classroom teacher, like they're all gonna learn a different way. I don't know, but they all get the same thing but in a, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I don't know.
Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, just like the notes I wrote down for justice is like changing, like, I guess you could like change the curriculum or like add in supports for students just in case.
Like if they
need it.
yeah.
I feel like when I think of justice, I think of like changing the institution as a whole to prevent the fact that like I didn't learn the same as they did
Yeah.
in the first place.
But that's also difficult because
Like we can't
states
do
are
that.
different, districts are different, like,
Right.
um,
I feel like it's very grand, but even in the image that she had up of like the giving tree, like I feel like it's not, it's the ideal situation, but I feel like it, A, isn't something that we're probably going to be able to do, and B, even if we could, it would take a lot of time and resources, even if everyone agreed that that's what we were going to do, for anything to actually like change. So I feel like part of it is like, I get equality because it's a step up from inequality, but it's not there yet. So it's like, to me, I see them as steps towards.
Yeah.
yeah, and it kind of seems like it's just out of our hands, like it's kind of impossible. We also skipped over equity. Equity is like you get what you need.
Yeah.
So wherever you are, you get what you need. Not everybody gets the same thing.
I feel like in math, that's like differentiation, that kind of stuff.
Like kids who need manipulatives, and then some don't.
Yeah. And I feel like that goes into like the just in case scaffolding, because like especially like with accommodations, like when you read them, you know what the kids need, so you prepare for it beforehand, or like you have the materials like beforehand just like ready if like the kid is like really struggling, because they might struggle one day with one thing but then they might not the next day, so being able
That's
to
the
have
just
that is
in
important.
time. The just in case is like, you're like, oh, they probably won't know this, so I'm gonna give it to them.
The just in case is more preventative, and then the just in time is like, I'm observing that you guys.
You have it for them, and then when they need it, you give it to them. The just in case is, even if they're not struggling, you give it to them anyway.
Okay.
I know, I got confused at first too, and then when Kane explained it in class, I was like,
Well, I was
Yeah,
in
I
class,
know.
so it's like hard.
But yeah, so okay, so the just in case, it's like, the just in time is allowing them to work on their own and build independence first. But the just in case is like, they are relying on teachers more than they should, because you're just giving them what they need, even if they don't need it. So they have no faith in themselves, basically. They're like, oh, can I have that?
I like the, I feel like I like the idea of planning for things. I'm very type A. I like to plan for things. I like to have everything under my control, but I feel like you kind of realistically would have to do a combination of both, where it's like you can plan for the things that you know are going to happen, but at the end of the day, there are probably going to be things that come up that you weren't expecting, and then you have to be like, oh, well, in that case, then I'll give you this.
And you need to like make up things on the fly sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if the lesson isn't working at all, none of the kids understand it. You need to be able to like maybe you didn't expect it, and you need to be able to like completely flip what you're doing.
Explain it in a different way, or
or like grab manipulatives or something. You know.
I think it's just like, I also like being prepared and like having stuff like just in case. But I think it's just like, you have it, make it, whatever, keep it, and then just give it to them if they need it. Don't
like
say they don't know how to do it, so they're gonna need it.
Like my special ed teacher that I'm with, she has like a bunch, she's been teaching for like 25 years or something, so she has like a bunch of different like resources throughout the years, and she like keeps them.
That's what I
And like, yeah, me too. And then if she like has a kid and she's like, oh my god, this like certain thing works really well, like she keeps programs from like years before that they had.
Yeah.
And she's like glad that she's kept them, so then she can just like whip it out and then like give it to the kid.
It also
So it's
saves
really
time,
good.
though, because
Right.
Yeah,
you
because
don't have
then
to
you
keep
don't
making them over
like she
again.
has so many flashcards, like
Wow.
she like it's insane, so it's like really good, so then she
Yeah.
doesn't have to make any more
Mhm.
or like whatever. So
Yeah.
how much time?
Almost 12 minutes.
Okay, then we can end it then.
Yeah.
Alright. Thank you, Dr. Ping, for listening to us once again. Bye.